You're a thief, Walt.
And a crook.
And I want to hear you admit it.
I didn't steal a dime. We didn't
Bullshit!
do anything illegal.
You
See,
manipulated
you don't care what I'm going to say.
prices,
You need someone to
bribed
blame.
people,
You've already
you
decided
broke
it's
the
going to be me.
law.
What law? Name one law you can prove I broke. No, don't look at him. He can't prove it either. This is just business, and this is how business is done.
That doesn't make it right.
Oh, please. Tell that to the Chinese. Tell that to the Russians, because if it's not us, it's going to be them. Hell, it already is. You see, that's the irony about all this. You only came after me because I lost you money. Nobody was asking questions when everybody was making a profit. You just gobbled up every dollar of stock you could afford. As long as we kept paying you 18% ROI every year, then you could keep bragging to your friends about what a genius you are. But hey, you're not a genius. You're a stockholder.
Basically all of that volatility just bubbling underneath the surface. And the greatest example of that is the financial crisis, the 2008 financial crisis, but it never goes away, right? So if you think about the lead up to the financial crisis of being all of these smaller fires not being allowed to run their course, and then the massive blow up being the fire you can't control, what do? They do the same thing that they had been doing over decades, but just on more massive scale. So they had to print 3.6 trillion. They suppressed that volatility. Well, it doesn't ever go away if you suppress it, if you don't let the fire burn. And that in the Bitcoin world, every time Bitcoin might rise too fast, that is also imbalance. Bitcoin gets to a point where it can't be sustained. When Bitcoin went from $1,000 to $20,000 over a year, it could never be sustained at that level. That you can think about that as economic imbalance. But because Bitcoin's a free market, because nobody can manipulate it, now potentially certain small, individual actors over a short period of time. But in terms of the system in aggregate, the system eliminates the imbalance, and that's the fire being allowed to run its course in the interest of the long-term stability. And so it's this contrast of basically the Fed and the legacy system avoids short-term volatility that creates greater long-term volatility. Bitcoin allows for short-term volatility, and in the interest that creates actually long-term stability. And that in a system that you can't eliminate, in a system that you can't manipulate, and that you can't control, that you ultimately get this system where moral hazard is eliminated. So Bitcoin is the system that's devoid of moral hazard. The fiat system is basically built on moral hazard. And so when you think about the foundation, would you rather, to allow short-term volatility in the interest of long-term stability, or the opposite? And so it is this great contrast.
Right.
The economic instability and disruption and potentially depression that's coming, because we've lived in this world of excess that's been so manipulated and that is so detached from reality, that system is in its kind of final chapters. So